What's up, my fellow Toku nerds and fellow Scavenger nerds? We got a lot to talk about in this episode of Zeztz. And, let's start with the fact that during the fight of Baku and Nox, or should I say 7 now, and Nox, yeah. Baku went full on berserk. Not gonna lie, it was a cool fight. And for a record, I have an answer on if there was any other, bulkier suits similar to Catastrum. And the closest answer I got is, Agito Burning Form. That's the closest I got. And I remember that because of watching the Tokutonic podcast with Zio, Mark, and Ash. So there's that. Shout out to those guys. Those guys are awesome. Any case, I have my full thoughts about Burning Form on my Kamen Rider in Skylands, Kamen Rider Agito in Skylands video a while back. Check out that playlist if you haven't got a chance. I could really use a boost on those. But, back to this episode. This episode starts off with that fight between Seven and Nox. And like I said before, it was berserk. For sure. I mean, you can't try to... Okay, real challenge for you guys. Try to convince me. Try to convince me that Catastrum is not a berserk form. Because from what I've seen, damn, it's a berserk. For sure. I'll give my thoughts further on that. I'll also have a question for you guys about that in a minute. But just keep in mind. And my god, the finisher. I was not expecting the finisher right off the bat. And for the record, we still haven't seen what the over finish is. Because we know that the driver does this. Oh. Sorry. Sorry about that. I thought I pressed it 4 times. Let me try that again. There we go. We still don't know what this does. We still don't know. And it's driving me crazy because we're at the halfway mark, people. We're at the halfway mark in this show. And we still don't know what the heck does the overfinish does. If anyone has an answer to that, please mention it in the comments. I would love to give you guys a shout out for that. But dang, the finisher was really good. And because of that, Nox is dead? We're led to believe he's dead. But it was kind of... Me personally, it felt kind of like... It felt vague in some cases because... Yeah, you can argue that he died, but, I mean, come on. You really killed a secondary rider? Nox, Kamen Rider Nox is supposed to be the secondary rider. You really think he's dead? On that? I don't know. I don't know on that front, to be honest with you. Anywho, moving on. Because of that fight, Baku is passed out and is back in his subconscious, where we have this whole conversation between Baku and them on what's the best move moving forward. Nem thanks Baku for making her realize what her dream is to help people. But it's kind of sad that Baku has to get rid of his, Bakuyozu side of things in order to become full clone number 7. We'll get to that in just a minute. I think the explanation that, before I move on to Fujimi, Nazuka, and Code 3, Code 3 is a jackass. Excuse the language. But, dang, that dude's a jerk. Like, he's so smug. And just... he's like an anti-agent. Like... okay, you got Baku, the righteous hero and all that. You got Nox, the antagonist agent. But then you got Code 3, which, by the way, we still don't know his real name. We got Code 3, and he's the hardcore authoritative leader. We still got Zero out there. And he's just very... kudos to the actor. He's good. But dang, that character is just... Code 3 is just smug, and I like him, but I hate him. If that makes sense. If you guys feel the same way about Code 3, let me know. And with that whole conversation between Code 3, Fujimi, and Nazuka, we did get a better understanding on what Code is. It's a organization that was brought upon by the intelligence agencies to deal with the supernatural threats. Makes sense. Although I'm not sure if this was implied in the early episodes or anything with the code logo and all that. The Classified Organization Defense Establishment. I believe that's what it is. Okay. The words they use for code, kind of basic. I'm not gonna lie, kind of basic. I like the name Code. It's really cool. Just the letter, what each letter means is a little bland and kind of basic, in my opinion. Sorry for the hot take. Sorry for hot takes. But it's nice to have an explanation on what that is. And I guess overall, everything kind of lines up with the interactions between them. Also, by the way, I forgot to mention, Code 3 tries to punch Baku to wake him up. Dude, who the heck he is? Yeah, see my problem with Code 3 here? You see my problem? Moving on. So, with that going on, we did get some more information from Minami, because she tried to visit the lady as the dream psychiatrist that Baku went to. That whole conversation was creepy. And I wonder, okay, I get the lady hypnotized Minami to not tell any of this to Baku. But the main question is still the same of, why tell her in the first place? That doesn't really make any sense. I guess, okay, as an audience perspective, sure, we got some clarity on what's going on. And they brought back the book. Woo! We have not seen the book since episode 4? Maybe? I'm not sure. Anywho, it's been a hot minute since we saw the book, and we did get some more information on that front where there's a lot of information on that front. Best way I can explain it is that apparently from historical facts that bad things happen because people have bad dreams, which influence the real world. Which, I guess in Baku's sense, it does make sense. He had some bad luck. So, there's that. I think overall the conversation was very interesting. But yeah. If you have not watched the episode, please do. There's some information that I know I'm missing out on. I do my best. I'm just kind of giving my thoughts about the whole thing. Either way, the conversation between Minami and the lady, very creepy as hell. Excuse the swearing. Sorry. I tried to be kid friendly. Sorry. Anywho, so back to Baku and them. Baku decides to get rid of his Baku Yozu life in replacement of 7. And the way they do that is very interesting. They kind of took the nightmare logic and put it on themselves. Also, now that Baku has the Catastrum form, he is able to destroy the freaking Dream Moon? You kidding? How powerful is this guy? How powerful is he? I mean, he pulled the moon down and destroyed that dream world, I think. We did see a glimpse of it at the end of the Nightmare and Zeztz fight. We'll get to that in a minute. And apparently he can just do that so that he and them are able to get out of the dream. Interesting. Also, a small weird thing. Nam is now able to control dreams now. Really? It kind of feels like it was shooting hard in, but that's just me. They were hinting it, but yeah. So, with that being said, Baku and Nem finally wake up. We'll get to Nem in just a minute, because there's a lot to unpack there. So, Baku gets up, goes to the base, and he dresses up in his Code 7 outfit. In the real world. He even has that little curl thing. Is there an explanation on the curl? Because I feel like in the first episode, it was kind of like a indicator for danger, but... And then he goes off, faces Nightmare. We get the triple Zeztz, I believe that's what it's called. The giant freaking bazooka. I mean, the bazooka's cool. Do you want my honest opinion? It's my video, so I'm gonna say yes. The real life version looks weirder than the toy. The toy makes sense because it fits all 3 capsules, but the big one's a little too big. Because when you compare the two, the toy one kind of looks a lot better because you're able to fit them all nice and cleanly. Whereas the big one, it's just... the capsules are very small. Has that ever happened before? It's weird. Kind of weird, honestly, but still cool. And my god, that thing does some damage. Like, god damn. It's... whew. That is what you call catastrophe. Moving on. So, with all that... also, this is very unclear. Did the kids go back to their beds? Because during that whole nightmare, or during that dream sequence back in the early 20 episodes, so technically, alright, moving on. The kids went through the nightmare, but they all disappeared so that the nightmare can appear. Whatever happens in kids, that's kind of where my concern is about this episode. It just got rid of the nightmare, but what happened to the kids? And on top of all that, we learned that Nem wakes up in the base of the bad guys. The lady says the beautiful world is here or something like that. And then we get the biggest bomb drop in the show so far. The lady is Nem's mother. What the heck? You leave a bomb drop like that? Damn. God damn. I was not expecting that. But overall, I think this episode was really good. It definitely, continued on from what we had last episode. But it really does a good setup of what's to come. And I'm excited to see what next episode brings. I believe Zero is coming back? I'm not sure. But we'll finally get to see Lord 3, which I will go over Lord 3 in its own time, but as of right now, that's what I got for this episode. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Question for you guys. Number one question for this episode. I have that series of, I mentioned before, Kamen Rider in Skylands. By the time I go into Zeztz, which I'm hoping I get to by the end of Zeztz, what should I do for the Catastrophe form? Should I go Brawler or Bazooka? I'll look over those videos to understand what I'm talking about, but you guys let me know on that front. So until next time, take care.